What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big March Madness NCAA tourney South Region breakdown. To check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. We move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Number 9th seed Wisconsin Badgers 17-12 versus number 8 North Carolina Tar Heels 18-10. We're at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. Ooh, this is going to be a good one and a fun breakdown. Whiskey opens as 2-point dogs. Then they move to 1.5 point dogs. This total opens up at 139 and now 139.5. Wisconsin struggled mightily down the stretch, losing 4 of their last 5, 6 of their last 8. They just barely squeaked past Penn State 75-74 as 5.5 point favorites in the second round of the Big Ten tourney before being bounced by Iowa in the quarters. Senior Dimitri Trice led Wisconsin with 19 points, while fellow senior Micah Potter went for 17 points and 8 boards. They're the only two Badgers averaging double digits. With the ball in Trice's hands as much as possible, the Badgers only turn the ball over 8.9 times a game. Impressive. But they struggle with their shot at times, hitting just 42.1% from the field, 35.9% from three, and they're nice from the foul line, 76.7%. North Carolina got better as the season wore on. They'd won 4 of 5 before losing to Florida State 69-66 in the ACC semifinal. Max talks about how they come on in the second half. Their bigs start wearing down their opponents. Their front court, led by 6'10", 240-pound Armando Bacot, 6'10", 240-pound senior Garrison Brooks, 6'11", 265-pound freshman Dayron Sharp. They began imposing their will on opponents and winning the battle of the boards. It helped balance out their poor shooting as a team that hit 44.1% from the field, 31.7% from three, and just 66.8% from the stripe. Max, are we back in the Tar Heels here? What's the plan?
Listen, Jim, obviously we got to give some respect to Wisconsin because the last time that these two programs met up in an NCAA tournament game, it was a 79-72 Wisconsin win. They covered the 6-point spread. They went over the 144.5 total. And listen, it's hard to freaking go against it, you know. Wisconsin on paper has the talent, has the experience, has the continuity. But if you've been watching them, and unless you're from the state of Wisconsin, what are you smoking if you take these guys? This is the poorest offensive execution that I've seen from a Wisconsin team in my memory, and I'm a little jaded from my legal cannabis. I think that with Nate Ruvers, Jim, you know, he's playing himself out of his role that he owned. It was solidified. Even when Potter came into the team, it was like, we're going to roll out the Twin Towers. And in the Big Ten, that should have been a conference championship winning formula. But the problem is you're not getting enough from Brad Davison. You're not getting enough from just your depth players, you know. When you look at this roster, you know, they don't have a ton of guys that can create their own shot. There is not a ton of dribble penetration. And obviously, when you don't have those two things, what does it turn into, Jim? It turns into just a lot of missed jump shots. And that's what you're getting with Wisconsin, you know? They need better post defense, and this is just a terrible matchup for them. You got two slow-footed freaking big men. I believe both of them can run the floor, but it's a matter of how long they can run the floor for. I think that with Wisconsin, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to be less three-point dependent and more three-point accurate. They got to limit their turnovers and have that fantastic ball distribution result in assisted buckets. And listen, there is talent coming through the pipeline for Coach Gard here. You know, Jonathan Davis, I talk about him often when I talk about Wisconsin. He's got to bring his A game for his team to have a shot to win. He's a 38% three-point shooter. He hits 72% of his free throws. He gives you steals. He gives you blocks. He gives you pass deflections. He's a great perimeter defender. He can guard multiple positions. You know, that's the kind of performance that you need in March to show up for you. When you look at Aleem Ford, this is a guy at 6'8", understands this system, has been there, done it before, knows the pressures of March Madness. He's got to be able to slide down low, get to the free throw line, convert those free throws. And listen, he has 44 three-point makes on the year. He's extended his range. He's thinking long-term. And a guy like that could have a big game against this quality of UNC. But the problem is, Jim, when you look at UNC, what usually works well against a team that plays a lot of big men? And sometimes Roy Williams will have 3 of these guys out with maybe Walker Kessler out there, is pick and roll. The problem with the pick and roll against North Carolina is, well, when you have the athleticism and the footwork of Dayron Sharp and Armando Bacot, you're not going to be able to get that ball to the roller and get a freaking easy look at the bucket. So I just think with UNC, they're doing a fantastic job of changing their style and tempo. They're trying to score before the defense sets. They're playing a fast pace, and they're playing that game that only big guys do over little guys. And as a little guy, I find it highly offensive. They like to play that tip off the glass game, use their size in the post, and force the defense to go over the screens and not under. So I just think that with UNC, a lot of people will be like, yeah, that's why they go under the screens, not because of the big man. Well, the three-point shooting has been better from Leaky Black and freaking RJ Davis and Caleb Love. And, of course, Kerwin Walton, who's the best three-point shooter on the team. So I definitely would have a debate about that. I think that the only weakness for UNC on defense is just giving up jump shots, They're a team that definitely has to get out to a first half lead, but like you said, and like I've pointed out multiple times, this is a very good second half team, so I am willing to take them full game. I think that they're going to dominate with the low post scoring. They're going to make more field goals. They're going to hit enough free throws to cover up the ones that they miss. And listen, with their work on the offensive and defensive glass, can you really bet against them in a tournament situation? I'm not going to. I think that as long as UNC limits their turnover, stays out of scoring droughts, and doesn't fall behind by 10 points or more early, they're winning this game. This is just too short of a number. I would have had North Carolina close to freaking 8.5, 9 points with how Wisconsin is playing. This could be a situation, Jim, where I may even sell a couple points on the spread and take North Carolina 3.5 or 4.
Wow. Well, it's -1.5, -110 right across the board. If we wanted to start selling, we could get North Carolina -3.5 at +120.
Sorry, I almost just knocked over my apple juice. That would have been bad. Let's gamble, bud. Let's gamble. Let's take that 3.5. Let's take that 3.5.
So the 3.5's 120. The threes +110. 3.5 +120. 4 +125.
Actually, let's take the 3 +110.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the 3 +110.
Very exciting. Oh, you know what? Let's just see very quickly if I could just. BetMGM really came through the last time we were selling. Let's just quickly see if I can get you any more here. We have -3 +115.
Sounds better to me, bud.
Yeah, let's grab it. Okay, and let's remember that moving forward, that BetMGM giving us a little more. -3 at +115, available at BetMGM. Selling points. Our man Maxwell Smart. That's how confident he is. North Carolina Tar Heels -3 +115 at BetMGM.